Hello students, welcome to online classes. First of all, I would like to give you many congratulations as you have stepped in 11th class. Today is the first day of yours. We are going to study about the first chapter from Hornbill named A Portrait of a Lady. It has been written by Khushwant Singh, where the writer describes his relationship with his grandma and many more things. So first of all, I would like to give you the whole summary of the chapter, through which you will be able to know the whole chapter and you will study the whole chapter at home. Khushwant Singh draws here an interesting portrait of his grandmother. He presents her as a tender, very soft, loving and deeply religious old lady. Khushwant Singh says that his grandmother was an old woman. She was so old and her face was wrinkled. That it was difficult to believe she could ever have been young and beautiful, pretty. His grandmother was having the wrinkled face. It could not be believed that she had been young and beautiful lady. It appeared unbelievable when she talked of games she used to play in her childhood. Her hair was white as snow. She had a little stoop. She was bending when she walked. She had a little stoop in her back. She bent when she moved, when she walked. She could be seen telling the beads of her rosary all the time. She kept chanting the jap. She was moving the beads, pearls in the rosary. The author says she was like winter landscape in mountains on expanse of pure white serenity, breathing peace and contentment. She was peaceful, looked white like the snow. She was satisfied with her life. A picture of the writer's grandfather hung on the wall. He appeared too old to believe that he ever had a wife. He appeared to have only lots and lots of grandchildren. Khushwant Singh was only a child at that time. His parents had gone to live in the city, leaving him behind in the village with his grandmother. She would wake him in the morning and get him ready for school. It was grandmother who cared him like the parents. As she bathed and dressed him, she would sing prayers while bathing and dressing him. she would offering the prayers. She would sing the religious songs. She hoped that in time Khushwant Singh would also come to learn it by heart. But the writer could never do so. These days the children don't like to learn the religious songs. They can easily learn the filmy songs, but they have no inclination in religious songs, hymns. After a breakfast of a stale bread and butter, grandmother would accompany Khushwant Singh to the village school. She would carry some stale chapatis with her for the village dogs. She fed the village dogs. The school was attached to a temple. While the children sat in the veranda singing the alphabet or the prayer in chorus, grandmother would read religious books in the temple. Children sat in the veranda, they sang the alphabet in the group, and grandmother would read the religious books in the temple. She would walk back home with her grandson Khushwant Singh. When the school was over, she came back with him. On their way back, they would throw chapatis to the village dogs. When his parents were well settled in the city, Khushwant Singh and his grandmother also went to live with them in the city. Khushwant Singh joined an English medium school. His grandmother did not like that English medium school, where science, music, singing, dance were taught to the child. She did not like. It was not well for her family. She did not like many things taught in that English medium school. Though she still shared the same room with Khushwant Singh, she could no longer help him in his lessons. She no longer went with him to his school like the village school. In due course, Khushwant Singh went up to a university. He was then given a room of his own, and thus the common link of friendship between them now snapped, cut completely. The separation was between them. Grandmother began to pass her time at the spinning wheel from sunrise to sunset. Only in the afternoon did she relax. She took relaxation in the afternoon, a little. When she fed sparrows, the birds, with little bits of bread. The sparrows also seemed to feel quite at home in her company. Some of the birds would sit on her shoulders and even on her head. Khushwant Singh decided to go abroad for further studies. He was to be away for 5 years. His grandmother went to the railway station to see him off. Khushwant Singh felt that his grandmother would not live till the time he was to come back. He thought she would be dead. But death was not so. She was alive. She did not die. She was there to receive him at the station when the writer came back. She went there to receive him. She celebrated his homecoming in her own way. Grandmother was happy to see the writer come back. She collected the women of the neighborhood, got an old drum, dholak, and started singing. She filled with energy. She kept singing and beating the drum for several hours. By doing so, she was expressing her happiness, how happy she was at the return of his grandson. She was happy. She kept singing and beating the drum for many hours. Next morning, grandmother fell sick. She fell ill. The doctor came and said that it was only a mild fever, only simple fever, and would soon go. She would be quite well again. But grandmother knew that her end was near. The time was approaching. She lay peacefully in her bed, praying and singing the prayer, praying and telling the beads of her rosary. She kept laying in her bed, moving the beads in her rosary. She did not want to waste the rest of the time. At the last moment, she wanted to keep the words of God on her lips. So, she did not want to waste the remaining moments of her life in talking to anybody, She remained silent, only moving her lips to recite God's name. Quite suddenly, the rosary fell from her hand. The religious chain fell down. She had breathed her last. She took her last breath. She died. Her body was placed on the ground and covered with a red shroud, kafan, white for men, red for lady. After making preparation for her funeral, for her cremation, they went to her room to fetch her body for the last journey. Thousands of sparrows had already reached there. They gathered in the veranda. Thousands of sparrows had gathered in veranda and in her room, right up to her dead body. They felt a kind of love. The birds felt a kind of love, a sort of love for the grandmother. A far distant relationship was made between the birds and grandmother, as grandmother used to feed the sparrows daily. The birds were all silent. They had the sense that something was mishappening. Something was lost. There was no sound, no chirping, no twittering. The writer's mother brought some bread to feed the birds. She broke the bread into the pieces and threw the pieces to the birds, sparrows. But the sparrows denied. They did not pay any attention to the crumbs, to the pieces of bread thrown there. When the grandmother's dead body was taken away, the sparrows flew away quietly. It was the silence everywhere. The sparrows had the sense that the grandmother was no more. They felt sorrow for her death. Now the students, some questions of the chapter. What are the three phases of the author's relationship with his grandmother before he left the country to study abroad? The first phase of their relationship is in the village. Grandmother takes care for all the needs of the author. She wakes him up in the morning. She gets him ready for school. She gives him breakfast to eat. While the author is studying, grandmother sits in the temple and reads religious books, scriptures. After the school, she brings the author back home. On her way, she feeds the village dogs. The second phase of their relationship begins when the author joins an English medium school in the city. Now she doesn't go with him to school. And the third phase comes when she learns that the author is learning music. At school, she feels shocked. For her, music is not meant for nice people. In those days, it was not supposed to be good for the nice people. Now she rarely talks to the author. There are three reasons why the grand author's grandmother was disturbed when he started going to the city school. Grandmother could go longer accompany the author to his school as she used to in the village. Now the author went in a motor bus. She did not like the things author was taught at school. She thought the children should be taught about God and religious books, scriptures, but there was no such thing in the English medium school where the author studied. The biggest shock came when she found that he was being taught music that was not supposed to be good for the nice people, gentle people. Three ways in which the author's grandmother spent her days after he grew up. She spent most of her time at the spinning wheel. She recited scriptures in the afternoon. She fed the dogs. She fed the sparrows. Not dogs, sparrows. Dogs in the village, but in the city, sparrows. Another question is how will you describe the changing relationship between the author and his grandmother? What would you say? I think the author spent his childhood in the village